Hey everybody, Dearly here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Code Realize, Guardian of Rebirth. In the last episode, we heard Impy's sad little backstory. I'm pretty sure everybody has a sad backstory. And now we are just sitting under the moon together and thinking that this is like the calm before the storm, basically. We should be going to battle very soon. But to continue on with our heartwarming scene between Cardia and Impy, pick up where we left off. So you can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story. We're sitting next to one another, staring at the moon. It's all happening tomorrow. Impy nods in silence. I wonder if Victoria even has a chance against him.
Regardless of whether or not she has a chance, in her case she probably doesn't have a choice but to fight. If she doesn't fight, it would mean that London faces defeat. There's no way she can back down from this.
Do you think it'll be a tough battle?
Yeah, but still, I intend to take care of this no matter what. I just don't have any good ideas.
Oh, that's right. Impy had come out for a walk because he was feeling stuck. If the gravity alleviator is at the core of the Nautilus, it would be convenient if it would just break down.
I don't know about that. I'm sure Nemo's being very careful with it. We shouldn't get our hopes up too high for that.
What is it, Impy?
A breakdown? Why didn't I think of that?
What about a breakdown?
Thank you! You're a complete genius! We might be able to stop the Nautilus!
Huh? You're thanking me.
That's right! It's your idea! Let's go back to Saint G's mansion. I need your help with something.
What? Impy tugs my hand and starts running, and I hastily follow along.
Just watch!
Impy turns back to me and smiles like a little boy.
Your beloved Mr. Impy is about to brilliantly resolve everything at once.
Chapter 13. Flying Me to the Moon. The soft and gentle chirping of birds awakens me from slumber. The rustling of treetop branches adds to their beautiful melody. There's a big battle waiting for us today, but the day starts unbelievably peacefully. I slowly open my eyes and see an endless sky spreading above me. White clouds slowly drift through it, soaking in the morning sun. Where am I? I realize that a blanket has been placed over my shoulders, and I hastily get up. Did I fall asleep? As I grow more aware, my memory gradually comes back to me. Last night, we went to Impy's studio on the mansion grounds. I was helping Impy make a mysterious device. All I can really do to help is pour some tea for him or handle other minor chores. I was helping him until close to dawn, when I started to doze off. Impy, where are you? There's not much time before our mission. I wonder if the device is finished. I become worried and call out for him, and he appears from the far end of the room.
Oh, you're awake? I was thinking of coming to wake you when the coffee's ready.
I'm sorry. I fell asleep before we could finish.
It's all good. Seeing your cute sleeping face totally recharged my motivation.
You were watching me sleep. I look down in reaction to the face Impy makes. I shake my head and try to change the topic, but my face is probably red. What happened with the device?
It's all done, thanks to your love, obviously.
Impy hands me a mug of coffee, then takes out a round device about the size of his hand. At first glance, it's hard to tell exactly what it is. I intentionally didn't ask while you were making it, but what is this thing supposed to do?
It's pretty much something that'll let us pinpoint a critical defect in the Nautilus and strike.
The Nautilus has a critical defect?
Yup, it's got a major Achilles heel, and Nemo probably doesn't even know about it.
Impy says this with a mischievous air, then holds up the device and smiles at me. A few short hours later, the main players in the mission have gathered at the palace at the request of Impy, the Gravity Alleviator's designer. The rows of people here, aside from myself, include high-ranking people, such as politicians and military leaders. Among them is Britain's Queen, Victoria. I stand beside Lupin and the others, watching Impy as he stands in the center of the room.
Hey, Impy said he has some sort of secret plan. Have you heard anything about it?
I don't know the details, but he said it's a trump card that will completely turn the tide of battle.
Turn the tide, huh? I'm a little worried. I'm not concerned. There are huge problems with his personality, but as an engineer, he can be fully trusted.
I look up at Van Helsing in surprise. I hadn't expected this from him. It's rare for you to praise anyone, especially Impy.
Praise? It's merely an evaluation. When it comes to his engineering and cooking skills, he's one of the best in all of Britain. The way you say it, it almost sounds as if every other quality he possesses is useless. Am I wrong? Hey now! Cut it out, you guys! I can hear all of it!
Impy turns to us from the center of the room.
Just start talking already! You shouldn't keep these esteemed people waiting.
Lupin's right. All the military personnel and politicians gathered in this room are looking at Impy rather severely. And understandably so. This is the morning before a desperate fight to somehow take a stab at the Nautilus. And some unknown random engineer comes in and touts a new plan. I'm sure many of them are not amused.
I do enjoy listening to your banter.
But I think it's about time we got to the point, Mr. Barbicane. So, you're saying you have a trick up your sleeve that can deal a heavy blow to the Nautilus? Victoria put Impy on the spot, but he nods with confidence. Last-minute changes to strategies can often lead to crushing defeat. Is this plan of yours worth the risk?
Of course! There's no better way than this to stop that thing.
Impy nods once, then puts on his usual smile. I'm a little impressed that he can carry himself in the same way he always does, even at a time like this.
All of you gathered here probably already know that the Nautilus is using the Gravity Alleviator to stay in the air, right? However, that device is still incomplete. Although an immense amount of energy is being used to operate the device, it still has tons of issues with stability.
And you are proposing that we can take advantage of this stability issue?
Exactly. I can see why you're the boss of this entire country, Vicky. Vicky. Vicky, how dare you speak to Her Majesty, the Queen, that way?
It's fine, Leonhard. I find all this very entertaining.
But...
Continue, Mr. Barbicane.
Let me break it down for you. There are 4 ways to stop the Nautilus.
With all eyes on him, Impy looks around at everyone, like he's lecturing a class.
1. Destroying the airship with a frontal attack by the military. We tried this and failed once already. 2. Enter the Nautilus and destroy the Gravity Alleviator, effectively taking it down. This stands a chance of succeeding, but Nemo is probably expecting it and it won't be easy. 3. Give up on trying to destroy the Gravity Alleviator and seize the power source. The same principle as option 2.
The energy source that powers the behemoth? I'm quite interested. Victoria narrows her eyes at Impy's words. The energy source he's talking about is none other than the Horologium. If someone in a position of power like Victoria were to find out about its existence, she would most likely try to use the Horologium as part of her own political agendas. Impy probably knows this, and thus avoids referring to it by name.
The thing is, even if we're able to get a hold of it, there is a problem. Even if the energy source is cut off, the device itself can still continue to function for some time. It's got some safety nets in place.
Leave it to Nemo to use that small window of time to do something horrible. Impy's conclusion elicits a great sigh from Victoria. So, you're saying that your excellent foresight as an engineer is now working against us?
My motto is to develop the safest and best quality products.
Then share your final method with us. That's the one you consider to be your trump card, is it not?
Yes. I'm going to start throwing around some technical terms, but just try to follow as best you can.
Impy nods firmly, interested in beginning his explanation.
For starters, the device nullifies gravity by engineering repulsive field. That brings an object's weight down to nothing. That field is calibrated so that it evens out the Earth's gravity. That's how an object of that mass can stay perfectly aloft in the sky.
So, you're saying that if you were to tweak those calibrations, you can bring the Nautilus down?
Bring it down? Yes, that's entirely possible, but I'm going for the opposite. I'll send it to the moon.
The opposite? Impy grins, well, impishly.
We'll blow it up and away! Through the sky and the stratosphere. Boom! All the way into outer space.
Space? Can you do that? The audience seems to have realized the magnitude of this idea and becomes restless. Impy then brings out the device that he had just completed this morning.
I'm sure I can. That's where this thing comes in. This device generates a strong magnetic force that will disrupt the gravity alleviator's control. Meaning that if we enter the Nautilus and turn this thing on, we win. Sending the Nautilus into the sky. I considered going into the ship, but this method seems like a much more effective way of rendering the Nautilus ineffective.
That's an interesting idea. What if Nemo turns off the gravity alleviator once he discovers that his ship is rising?
He can't turn it off. If he does, the Nautilus won't have enough thrust to support its own weight. The device takes a while to restart. Once he turns it off, he's going to keep falling for sure. For Nemo, turning off the gravity alleviator would be the same as committing suicide.
As Impy quietly explains, those standing around him begin speaking animatedly. Everyone gathered here had probably been despairing about having to face the Nautilus. That's all the more reason why this plan that might give them a shot at success is bringing life back to their expressions. I see. So this plan you're proposing, what do we need to do to make it succeed?
I need two things. First, I need to fire a special cannonball that functions to amplify this device's magnetic field into the Nautilus. Second, in order to start the device, I have to get onto the Nautilus myself. So I'd like you to buy me some time until I get in there and use this device. So this is his way to get to the moon, kind of sacrificing himself at the same time. Can you do that?
I see. So you're asking for the honorable forces of the British Empire to serve as an opening act for you. Victoria's quiet statement causes a stir amongst those in attendance. If what this engineer says is true, this is an effective plan. But the Empire has its pride. Can that man even be trusted? As whispers like this spread, Victoria stands there in silence, watching Impy through narrowed eyes. Will the Queen approve Impy's plan? If she won't come on board, there's nothing else we can do. Thinking this, I can stand it no longer and speak out. Excuse me.
Cardia?
Everyone focuses their attention on me after my sudden outburst. I push Victor aside, and he tries to stop me and step forward. And you are? My name is Cardia, and I don't think there's any other way to go about this aside from Impy's plan.
Are you insinuating that we are incapable of taking the Nautilus down?
Leonhard and some of the military personnel look at me, their brows furrowed, but I shake my head from side to side. That's not what I'm saying, but even if you are able to bring it down, if that huge battleship is destroyed and it falls, it will cause tremendous damage to the city below.
She's right. The battlefield will be directly above London.
But with Impy's method, the Nautilus ends up far away in space.
We can avoid the destruction of London that the debris from the Nautilus destruction would cause.
A man who appears to be a politician mutters this under his breath, and Victoria looks up. Her expression is determined. I see. Very well, then. We'll place the fate of London, Britain, and all the world in the hands of this engineer. Everyone in the room grows excited again at the Queen's words. Leonhard, send word to all the troops. The might of the British Empire is to be brought to bear for this mission. Our nation is most powerful. Our nation is the most powerful in all the world right now. If we cannot stop the Nautilus, the world will fall under Nemo's control. Therefore, you must go, Britain's gallant swords. Show them what happens to those who would oppose us. With your own blades.
As you command, Your Majesty.
The officers reply in unison. They had left for the last battle with a similar response and had been defeated. But this time there will not be a next. This is literally an all-out war. Defeat for them signifies the end, and the world will have to kneel before Nemo. It seems that everyone here understands this. The military staff all leave the room at once. Not so fast, Mr. Barbicane. Amidst all this, Impy turns around when the Queen calls out to him by his name. Without a doubt, you hold the key to getting us through this situation. If you are able to bring the craft down, I shall grant you the title of Knight.
I'm not interested. I already have a bunch of awesome titles. Oh god, the world's greatest engineer, chairman of the Cannon Club, and...
Impy walks towards me with a fearless smile. And when he puts a hand on my shoulder, I smile as well.
I'm already a knight too. I'm her knight, and I am sworn to protect her.
Huh?
I see. My offer was entirely unnecessary.
Victoria smiles at me as I turn red and walks away. Once she is completely out of sight, Impy turns to me.
Thank you for what you said earlier. It's incredibly reassuring to know that you have my back.
It's no problem, but are you sure about this? Isn't the gravity alleviator like a memento of the old man? If everything goes according to Impy's plan, the device will be thrown up into space along with the Nautilus. He'll never be able to get it back. But Impy just smiles and shakes his head.
I'll just build another one from scratch. I'm sure the old man would rather have it that way than have it used as a weapon.
But...
It's fine. That device isn't the only thing the old man left with me. He gave me the skills and knowledge necessary to be an engineer, and above all, the heart of an engineer. Even if something he made breaks, those things will live on inside me forever.
Impy places a hand on his chest while he says this. Beneath his unclouded smile is strong determination.
I'm sure that old man would have said something like, "You better be able to make this doohickey on your own."
I really believe that the feelings and thoughts of the old man who taught Impy are alive in him. I never met this person, not once, and yet, hearing Impy talk about him, I can imagine him very vividly. Then, Impy, you can't fail this mission, no matter what. Right as I'm speaking to him, laughing. Suddenly, the horologium in my chest flares with a dull light. What? As the light goes off like a warning, my whole body becomes weak. All at once, everything goes white.
Cardia!
I hear Impy call out in surprise, and I slowly fall to the ground. When I open my eyes, everything is terribly blurry. My body is heavy, like a rusted machine, and I can only move sluggishly. There is a continuous pounding in my head, with a pain like something banging against my skull. I try to get up slowly and catch a glimpse of Victor at my side. Victor.
Oh, you're awake.
Yes, I feel dizzy and I don't know why. What is it, Victor? I tilt my head to one side, puzzled, but Victor falls silent, looking conflicted. Then...
Cardia, are you all right?
Imbi burst into the room, and I smile at him. Yes, I'm all right. Never mind me, but what about you? Don't you have a war council to attend?
It's all good. I got through most of the explanations, and I left the rest up to Lupin. I would have liked to ditch the council to stay in bed with you, but everyone was against that, so...
I think a lot of people would have had a problem with that, myself included.
Not at that stage yet, Impi.
That would have been so embarrassing. Thank you, everyone who objected. I count my blessings. I'm perfectly fine. I'll take part in the mission as we planned. As long as I'm Nemo's target, I need to be the decoy and keep the Nautilus's attention.
Wait, Cardia, you're not entirely fine.
Victor suddenly speaks up. I look at his strained expression and open my mouth in confusion. What do you mean?
As I explained before, the properties of the horologium are beginning to change because it was damaged.
Yes? That is what Victor had said after our escape from the Nautilus. The horologium in me is undergoing a change.
You're unwell after losing a piece of the horologium.
I know.
Because of that loss, the energy that the horologium creates has changed. But your body is unable to withstand that changed energy.
So, what happens now?
The poison within you is going to start working against you. If we allow this to continue, you'll die in a short time.
But this is the reason why I can touch Impi right now.
The horologium's transformation is happening much faster than I expected. If my calculations are correct, in a little while the horologium will become an inert stone.
What?
What does that mean? I found out when I examined you after you lost consciousness. The energy that the horologium is generating is growing weaker and weaker. This is a critical situation for you as your body uses that energy in place of a beating heart. Normal people fall ill when their hearts weaken. This is comparable to that. At this rate, it's hard to tell whether you'll even make it through the night. The situation is that dangerous right now.
The horologium will break, and I will die. I knew I was going to die at some point, being an artificial creature. But even I thought it would be a little farther in the future. We would still stop the Nautilus together, Impi and I. And then we would chase after the dream he has spoken of. I had foolishly thought I was going to be allowed a future like this. I grow weak and sit back down. Then...
Come on, you're so much more beautiful when you smile.
Impi gently strokes my hair and smiles.
Victor, she'll be stable again if I can get that missing piece back, right? Yes, there's no doubt about that. It's most likely that the energy is cycling improperly because of that missing chip. Then it's simple. It's clear what we've got to do.
Impi takes my hand, smiling, and holds it firmly.
Come aboard the Nautilus with me.
What?
Well, you may have to carry her sometimes. She's weakening. It'll take too long if I go take back the horologium piece from the Nautilus and deliver it to you. We need to find the horologium and put it back into you on the spot. Then you'll be saved, and we all get to enjoy a happy ending, right? Yeah, that's that's what I was going to do. Yes, I planned that all along. Ah, you read my mind, Impy. I mean, yeah, so if I'm scared, it doesn't matter, because I'm going to do it anyway.
That was my intention anyway. I don't hesitate at all to answer. After I do my job as the decoy, I was going to get aboard the Nautilus. I can't let you put yourself in danger all by yourself.
Ha, great! It looks like we're on the same page.
Impy exhales a little to reaffirm his thoughts, then looks at me.
I'll protect you, no matter what.
I'll protect you too. Impy extends his hand to me. I take his hand and grip it gently, and Impy holds mine tightly. It's almost time for the decisive battle. A few hours later, Nemo looks out over London from the pilot house as the setting sun colors it blood red. Nemo has been watching the past 3 days. Watching as London's residents leave the city in a panic, like ants. Watching as the government hastily gathers its forces from all across the country. He has been observing the world from high above among the clouds.
This is fantastic!
Nemo is endlessly entertained by the magnitude of his power's impact. Up until now, he had always been chased away, rejected. Nemo was not born in London. He was a member of the royal family of a nation that has been colonized by Britain. Having been stripped of his position as royalty, Nemo headed to Britain alone. It wasn't out of a need for revenge or in submission. He just wanted to learn about science and technology that Britain had. His mind was probably already broken. Then, he had witnessed firsthand Britain's staggering military power and utter destruction. The power of science that had trampled over his own subjects and family was not a target of his spite. In the contrary, it became an object of his awe and worship. He had studied in Britain, hiding his true identity, and was welcomed into the Royal Society for his immense talent in science. However, he was always in too much of a rush.
Anything can be done in the pursuit of power.
Due to his radical ideas, he was expelled from the Royal Society. In the past, the British troops trampled over their own nation in pursuit of their immediate goals. It should be permissible, then, for him to trample over others in pursuit of the advancement of science. However, none agreed with his thinking, and he was driven out of his home a second time. Then, even his master, Isaac, left him and disappeared to parts unknown. Nemo had always felt powerless. Why wouldn't anyone understand the importance of his research? Why wouldn't anyone appreciate his greatness? His mind was always swirling with dark thoughts such as these. But things are different now. His mind is clear. Looking down from his throne in the sky, the people all look like ants. The British government poured a tremendous amount of money into the redevelopment of the city to create Steel London. Nemo can reduce this same city to a sea of cinders. Nemo feels no sense of powerlessness now, nor does he feel any sense of self-denial. All there is a bottomless intoxication born from a sense of everlasting, all-encompassing omnipotence.
Yes, that's right. I am the one who will lead humanity onward. In Asia, there is a tale of a lioness who pushed her cub through an abysmal valley. It wasn't an act of hate. It was because there was love there. Because she knew the cub would one day be the king of beasts. That's why she put her child through such a harsh test. I understand now, Master Isaac. It's because you saw a potential in me. Because you loved me. That's why you abandoned me, isn't it? Dr. Nemo? What is it? It better be something worth interrupting my sublime flow of thought. Yes, the government is making a move. An individual who appears to be the girl we are targeting has appeared in the garden of Buckingham Palace. It looks like the government is going to accept our demand. Good. It's wise of them to be so obedient.
The Buckingham Palace garden. This is not the location that he had specified, but that won't be a problem. As long as he can get the Horologium in his possession, nothing else matters. Nemo opens one of the many voice tubes lining the wall of the pilot house.
Captain, to all crew members, let's reposition the shop above Buckingham Palace. Respond with generosity if they comply. However, if there is any resistance, we will respond with complete destruction.
Nemo raises his arms and basks in its glory.
The Nautilus shall descend.
At Nemo's command, the aerial fortress wrapped in a shroud of clouds begins its gradual descent. Everything is going along with Nemo's plan. However, he does have one reservation tickling away at the back of his mind, that this might be a rather boring end. Perhaps things would be more interesting if they tried to resist. Then he could demonstrate more of the power that he has obtained. The sky darkens. And right there, we will end this video and pick up on their plan in the next one. So I hope to see you there. Please join me for the next episode or perhaps some of my other videos. And I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. They're really signing out. Bye-bye, everybody.